Morning everyone, it's Carol here at Oak House Journals. Lovely to have you with me. I'm going to do assignment number 37 of Margarete Miller's collage challenge for 2025. Prompts are here, prompt choices are here. Apologies if the sun is bothering you. It's such a lovely morning here in the UK that and there's Bertha, one of my hens outside, letting me know it is such a lovely day. Yeah, as I was saying, such a lovely day here in the UK. I don't really want to draw the blinds, but I hope it's not going to bother you too much. Anyway, to make a start, going through the prompts, the first one is a drawing or a photo of a clock tower. I've got this photograph of the clock tower at Gravesend here in the UK. A handwritten list or note. Well, I've got a couple of pieces of handwritten notes out of an old notebook, a French notebook that is. A bridge. I've got this lovely ethereal image and I've printed this off onto glossy photo paper as well as this. And something red. I've got this little tiny piece of foreign text here. That and I'm not sure which, I've got this underlining here on this French exercise book that I can use. So two options there. I might use one, I might use both. The penultimate one, a clipping of an ornate border or frame. Well, this came out of an old book, as you can see, beautiful old book. I'm going to use that. And finally, the bonus is washi tape. Not sure what washi tape I'm going to pick out for this as yet. That will be the final piece I put on my my collage for today, so I'm leaving that right until the end. Okay, so as always, prompts up there. I'm going to just trim a straighter edge on this piece here. There we go. Probably take a little bit off the other side just to balance it up. Not measuring this, just eyeballing, so I hope it's going to be all right. There we go. Let's start with the focal element, which is going to be my clock tower. Now, this, as you can see, has got some black shading around the outside. So I was hoping that I could marry up that little portion down there with this on this bridge image here. Might take away the border on the photo, but for now I'm just going to leave it there. And it's not a perfect match, but it's good enough, I think. If I move that over a little bit. I decided to take the border off all the way around on this photograph here. And I'm just going to put it on here and see if I can marry it up. There's a hint of blue up there. Don't like that, so I'm going to get rid of that. And I think I'm going to have that like that. So quick decision, I'm going to put some glue behind here. I'm bringing this clock tower photo right over to my right hand border and I'm going to trim away on this side about there. Let me have a look at this. I might try and put this underneath there and see what that looks like. So let's just slot it in there. Maybe bring this in. It's a shame that text doesn't go all the way over here because it's left me with a bit of a white margin there, which is not ideal. Whereas if I pull it right over there, it kind of chops it off, my image off where I don't want it, and I want it to kind of flow across. So I am going to have to embrace that, I think. Maybe pull that up slightly like that. Like that. I'm not going to glue anything in place just yet because I want to make sure I'm roughly happy with the composition. I would probably reduce that border at the bottom a little bit more. And I've got to get in my notes, so that could go in here like that. And I like the colours working on that one. That's a bit too tall, so I'm going to reduce that down a little bit. And potentially I'm liking how that is looking. Just going to level this up a little bit. Yes, I'm liking how this is looking, so I get a little bit of text showing there, text there, and it's set in from this edge. So let's see what this looks like on here. Wondering whether I can get this in across the top. Let me glue some of these pieces here in place. A bit of glue underneath this one. So I've got it like that. I'm going to trim it along the top there. I think that might be a pencil line. So let's see if I can rub that out. And yes, I can. Brilliant. Don't want that one showing, so I'm going to trim that away. Originally I was thinking I would just use that title up there underlined in red, but actually I'm thinking this would hit the prompt as a handwritten list or note, because this is a note from a French exercise book. So if I take this one out, just pop it to one side like that, I can actually put this one in behind and make use of the title and also that text there. So I think I might actually do that, so that I've got red at the top and red down here, and I think that would sit quite nicely. I'm going to bring it down a little bit more so that the photograph of this bridge is directly underneath that underlining, and I'm going to just trim it off slightly inside this working edge down here so that it comes out staggered. I've glued this piece behind here, and that's in place now, and as you can see I've drawn a few guidelines along the bottom here. I'm going to reduce this piece a little bit more because there's a lot of blank down there. I love that I've got the balance almost top and bottom here in terms of the colourway, but I do think there's too much here, so I'm just going to cut that away, and fingers crossed it will work and look all right. So I'm just going to, actually I'll do it on my guillotine. And I think that looks a little bit better. I'm thinking I might take away a little bit of this this top portion up there so that it lines up with that. I've got staggering on that side but not on this side, but I can go with that. So I'm just going to measure this up and then cut it away. And what I'm looking at here is this piece, wondering whether I can trim that away. So let me just put a piece of paper up there and see what that looks like. Yeah, I prefer that taken away. So again, I'm going to do exactly that. And there we go. I need to get my washi on here somehow. By trimming these edges away, it gives me quite a protrusion here, so I can afford to reduce it a little bit, which gets rid of that blank area there, which is what I wasn't happy with. So again, bringing in my guillotine, I'm going to do that. Now I'm thinking the obvious place for a piece of washi is that blank area up there, and if I wanted to I could go there and across the bottom here, and I might well do that. So I'm just going to go away now and see if I can find some washi. This is the washi tape I'm going to use. It's got soft tones to it, which I think would work with this vintage paper here, and it's almost got like a pinky tone to it. Not sure if you're going to be able to pick that up, which I think might work with the red, particularly this bit. So first things first, I'm going to get this glued down onto my background piece, and then I'll come back and do the washi. Okay, so that's all glued down, and now to bring in my washi. Thinking having a little piece across there, just like that, and a slightly bigger piece just across the bottom there. Just going to go in and give those a burnish with my bone folder. I might go in with another little piece across there for a rule of 3 on the washi. I think that will balance it out a little bit better, so I'm going to do that. So there we go everybody, that's my finished piece for week 37, and quickly reading through the prompts. A drawing or photo of a clock tower, well I've got this one here. A handwritten list or note, well I've got this note from an exercise book, French exercise book. A bridge, I've got this one in the background here. Something red, well I've got my underlining up there, I've got my, sorry I've got a bit of fluff on there, I've got my red text here, a clipping of an ornate border, well I've got this lovely plate or frame down there, and finally washi tape piece there, there and there. So once again everybody, thank you so much for watching. Close-up photos at the end for you to have a better look at my efforts this week, and please come and join me next week. Be fabulous to have you along. Until then, have a great week. Bye bye now.